Yo, 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 what is going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown Your Questions, episode 357. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Emilio Lopez,
What's up, people? Part of the Hat Army.
Chris Seeley,
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Carlos Romero,
Yo, yo, yo.
and Brett Murdoch.
What up?
All right, people, you already know what time, man. Throw down. All right, no Brian, no Adam. They're doing secret missions. Actually, Adam has a new place, so he's setting all that up. And Brian, he said he worked too much over the weekend, so he needs to rest. You know, we need a rested Brian.
I need a fucking rest, man. Ooh, this
Yeah.
week.
Speaking, yeah, I can imagine. By the way, speaking about working, if you see me distracted, it's because I'm also getting some work done. Embargoes wait for no man. You know? Oh man, so I'm gonna be pulling a Manny where you just see me like off to the side looking at
Yeah,
different
you're
things.
gonna see it. You're like looking off to the side and then and then looking back.
Yeah.
As I was saying before the show, I'm like, Ed, did you just set us off? You know, just be like, read the question and we'll do the rest.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, because it's like, yeah, like even though I do work a 9 to 5, news waits for no man. Neither do embargoes. So you know, you got to work late. You got to work late, man. That's how it is, even on the weekend. But I did enjoy my one day off, so that was good. All right, let's get into it, man. First question here. Ooh, what was that? What was that? What?
Whoa, heard that.
Fanatic is not following. Thank you. Appreciate
Thank you,
that.
Fanatic.
Very cool, very cool. All right, first question here. We got Mebs making a comeback. Man, it's been a while since we got a question from Mr. Mebs over there in the UK. So his first question is, and I've split these questions in order of like, because I've noticed, like, I'm noticing a theme here. Let me group them together, you know? So first couple of questions will be Sony and PC related.
All right.
All right, first question here. God of War is now coming to PC. Will hardcore fans feel shortchanged given the enhancements that the PC owners will get? What and okay, so that's the first part of the question. Let's answer that part first. Multi-stage question here. He asks us what ports we want to see, all this other stuff. All right, so let's ask: will some fans feel shortchanged? Some may.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're
Oh,
already
yeah.
seeing it. Yeah, you're already seeing it.
And to be honest, like people gotta like even though you know the new consoles are like or powerhouses at this point in time, that they cannot hold a candle to whatever the PC's got. Because the PC's always constant, they're always constantly upping the ante on the hardware. That's an investment, and sometimes you can't make that investment for every single time they update the graphics cards and the processors. So it is the way it is. But I mean, you don't see Nintendo heads getting all bent out of shape because their games can't run good.
I mean, they're always going to feel slighted. I mean, they were slighted because they went to PC in the first place, let alone what the upgrades are. I don't think they even reached to the point where they think about that kind of stuff. At least not yet.
Yeah.
I think most people are just, why is this Jim Ryan? You're what is it? You're going against the brand and stuff. You're deceiving us and all that kind of nonsense. Well, no, it's you got to put the game. You got to put the game somewhere. After it's already run its course in one system. Just
To be honest, like if you think about it, like as far as like future proofing the technology a little bit, like putting it onto a PC does assure that it will run on something else because they have to keep it running, don't they? I don't know.
My thing is like, again, like you guys said, it's like, okay, the game's already run its course. What's the problem here? You know?
Yeah, it's not. I mean, I don't. I'm not so. I mean, granted, I like PlayStation games, yada yada. But I'm not delusional to the point where I don't think that something like this is fine. Who number one, it's like, is everybody out there buying? Are you all buying who own PlayStations? Are you all buying your games over and over and over again and keep the cash flow going? No, you've already beat the game. You did what you needed to do. So, and it's not making it's probably not at this point making the money that it used to, as when it was new or when it was when it was the hot one out there. So maybe a two. Well, how many years has it been since God of War came out?
3 years, yeah.
3 years later, they say, you know what? Let's put a little bit. Let's get a little bit more money out of this. Let's squeeze a little more out of this turnip.
When is this game coming out? The PC version?
Oh, I forgot. Let me look it up.
Because if it comes out anytime next year, that'll be 4 years after the fact. So I'm like,
Yeah.
why you dudes beefing? Here's the thing. I could kind of understand. It's like, oh man, I bought this game and now the PC version is getting all these other features. But I'm like, if it's 4 years later,
January.
bro, the game came out March
It came out. Yeah, it came out. Well,
or February.
yeah, I think.
Yeah,
I think it was early. It was early.
yeah. So I'm like,
2018.
all right, bro, 4 years. Come on, man, let it go.
Yeah,
Although we do have a related question, which we'll touch later on. But I think. Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Did PlayStation ever announce any PS5 upgrades for this?
No, they
'Cause I
didn't,
guess-
and that's kind of a question we have later on about that.
Ah,
You know what?
okay.
Unless you want to just dump it up the queue now, because it's kind of relate. Actually, ooh, hold on. Which one of these should we ask?
Oh,
Because yeah. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna toss it in here. We're lumping it together.
we're doing it live.
Okay.
Yeah, we're doing it live. This is a Syrian Air Force. He asks us, I don't mind Sony porting games to PC, but they should make enhancements like director's cut ports for PS5 players. What do you think about that idea?
Yeah, I mean,
think
I don't see why they shouldn't. Everybody's always talking about like, oh, what's the matter? You don't like money? Like, yeah, okay. So if there's a big enough demand for it, they should release it for PlayStation with the new upgrades, and people can buy it all over again. I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah,
I
that's.
think-
Oh, go ahead, Carlos, and I'll go next.
I just think out of principle, it should be something that is a no-brainer. I mean, it's a new console came out. A lot of the flagship titles are getting patches. At least the most recent ones. We got Spider-Man Remastered Day One. All of these PlayStation franchises are getting upgrades for the PS5, and somehow the biggest, or at least one of the biggest, is not getting it. And you're also releasing it to PC with upgrades. It is kind of I will kind of side with a lot of the PlayStation fans that are upset about this because I feel like they kind of deserve to get some upgrades for the PS5 for this game, especially the ones that been playing it for years.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of mixed on this. Like I feel the sentiment, but I'm like, if it's 4 years later, I don't know, man. Like I'm gonna just say yes. Go ahead, give them the upgrades because that is more money in Sony's pocket. But at the same time, it's like, what do you expect from a 4-year-old game? You know what I'm saying?
It's kind of Spider-Man got upgrades. We're getting Death Stranding. Or we got Death Stranding director's cut. What is Ghost of Tsushima director's
Yeah.
cut?
Yeah, you know what? In that
so-
vein, it makes sense. But I'm gonna just say this is a personal story. I just gotta say this. Back, when I lived with my sister, right, little kids, my mom would always have to buy her a present for my birthday because she would get upset. So I'm like,
Oh.
so it kind of feels the same way. It's like, hey, they're getting some, we should get some too. You know what I'm saying? So maybe it's just a personal thing, but it just kind of triggers. I'm like, what? You, it's not your day, bruh. It's the PC guys' day. Let them have their shine, But again, I'm also not against the idea of, hey, give the PS5 guys a little some.
Yeah, I mean, it could be just a minimal thing like higher frame rates or better textures or something like that, because the PC upgrades are pretty good. They're getting ultra wide. I'm like, excuse me, something I want to do. It's like it seems like it's been done so many times now by a lot of other studios. I don't understand, and when they're already working on this specific game for PC, so it's like, give the people what they want.
Yeah. Again,
Especially,
even,
I mean, for a
yeah,
game that's almost sold 20 million, probably
Yeah.
already crossed that by now.
probably already did. Yeah, but yeah, I'm gonna say just in general, yeah, sure, why not? Give them a little some. Especially as you said, Carlos, they already been doing it for the other games. So get that God of War director's cut, the Atreus cut.
The trace.
Well, that's tough to do. I mean, they're already in development of the sequel, right?
Yeah, they
So
are.
it's tough to
Yes.
devote resources. And I think, in terms of like, hey, this game is already 4 years old. It's made its revenue. anything is residual, and else is residual. So just a port makes sense. But everybody got to enjoy it for the last 4 years on PlayStation. So if it gets ported, I don't see the big deal.
Yeah, no,
Now,
I
if it was a
agree.
day one thing, if it was simultaneous, then I'd be like, what are you doing, Jim
Ooh,
Ryan? What are you doing?
yeah. Oh, we got a question about that later too, by the way. No, you're right about that. All right, so let's move on to the other part of Mebs' question.
The Meb.
What other games do you foresee Sony releasing on the PC? He goes, perhaps Ghost of Tsushima or Bloodborne. By the way, did you guys see that fake Bloodborne PC ad that was making the rounds today? I'm like, bro, these guys spelled enhancement wrong. That's how you know it's fake. Ghost of Tsushima, I guarantee you that's coming to PC. That's gonna happen for sure.
I don't know so much about Bloodborne.
Now I don't
That
know
might
about
be
that. I don't think so because of From Software needs to get involved, don't they? In some way.
Yeah, they would have to be involved, and if you know, like, I mean, if anything, I could foresee them. Maybe the guys at Blue Point doing something with it now.
Mm.
Oh no, yeah, they were. I'd heard maybe this is just rumors that Blue Point was going to be handling supposedly the Bloodborne sequel.
That's the
They've been
rumor,
talking
yeah.
about-
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I've
that's
heard the
right.
rumor too. Yeah, I've heard the rumor too.
I fucking hope not.
Yeah, I don't because we don't know what they're capable of doing on their own. Don't give them something that big. Give them something small first. You know, test the waters.
They did say they were.
They're
It
trying
said
to make a
it said
sequel.
Yeah,
it said they were working on a new franchise, not a So
that is true. That is true. It's a new franchise. Yeah.
unless it's Blood Reborn.
Blood Reborn.
I'm surprised. I'm
yeah.
surprised we haven't gotten Spider-Man on PC. I think that's the next big thing to hit it.
I agree. I think every major PS4 exclusive will come to PC eventually.
think
PS3 ones, I don't know about that. You know, cell processor and all that
would,
shit.
They would need some additional development.
Yeah.
like it's to get them up and running on the new
Oh,
consoles and stuff.
and that would be a point of contention. If they did the work that Manny's talking about to port it from PS3 to PC, then PlayStation people should be pissed that those
Yeah.
weren't
Oh,
ported
yeah.
to PlayStation.
Okay, that
going
I
to
100% agree with. Yeah, yeah. It's like, bro, what the fuck you doing? But the thing is, like, PS4 games to PC, that's easy. We already got Uncharted, right? That's coming. Uncharted 4. Ghost of Tsushima, yeah, Uncharted. Ghost of Tsushima's going to come. Spider-Man, all that's coming. Watch, you know. Oh, Chris, here it is. The other part of the question. You brought this up. Will we ever get to a point where Sony announces a game for the PS5 and announces a PC release date at the same time? But here's the caveat: it could be announced that the game is coming to PC, not that it's coming on the same day.
No.
Yeah. So you don't think
I don't-
you don't think
I don't think
yeah.
I don't think they would announce it day and date because it waters down their messaging.
It could
Yeah.
potentially cut down sales.
It cuts
Yeah.
down sales because if you because automatically, what happens with PC games? PC games are usually less than the actual than PlayStation titles.
Yeah.
You're not
yeah.
paying on PC. You're not paying full price. So how are they gonna if they release them with the normal PC pricing, or again like they want to attract people to their console first. So they're going to announce they're going to say that the game is coming out for the main thing, and then for the main console, and then after that, maybe a few years later, that's when they start talking about, oh hey, by the way, you can get that game that people liked.
Go ahead, Chris.
It doesn't help on the two fronts. So Manny brought up the first front. Doesn't help you initially for sales on the native console, and secondly, if you say, hey, 3 years out we'll launch a PC version, who's going to remember that messaging?
Yeah, you're right.
In years, right? If you're on PC, you're not gonna go, oh well, Sony said I gotta wait 3 years. Like, no, you don't announce that that far out ahead of time that there's gonna be a port. That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't help you in either direction for sales.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. Like, they're not going to do that. They're not going to undercut like sales of their game. Yeah, and like Chris said, like, who's going to remember that shit? You know?
It's not like Microsoft, where essentially they're seeing all of they're seeing the Microsoft space and the PC as one united space.
Yeah.
So when you hear, oh hey, this is coming out on Xbox, you know, a lot of them are coming out on PC as well because that's all part of the same umbrella.
Yeah. Yeah, right now, PC is not part of that Sony umbrella. It's just a supplement, like for later on. And as Sony has already said, they don't want to. They said this about game streaming, like Game Pass. They said they don't want to devalue their games. So this would kind of fall in line with that, with their philosophy, because they would undercut things for sure,
I mean, the one thing,
yeah.
the one thing about game streaming, the positive is that you can be exposed to things that you wouldn't normally play, but it also makes gaming a lot more disposable.
Yeah. No, you're 100% right about that. Like, look what happened with me in was it Hades and the Cyberpunk game, forget it, Ascent. I was like, all right, I don't like these games. I stopped playing them after an hour. Disposable, if I had paid for them, maybe it might be a different story, I'd be like, fuck, I guess I gotta play this shit.
Yeah.
Remember back in the day, you had to pay that game, man.
Yeah, I'm going back to Castlevania Lords of Shadow, man. I finished that shit because I fucking bought it. So
Yeah,
it was
that's
a
it.
slog, but I still did that shit. So
Exactly.
yeah. I mean, it definitely means that you can essentially you do like some people go when they go to a wine party or whatever. They pick up the old derb, they don't like it, and they put it right back.
Yeah.
A little taste of it, and they're like, "Man, I put it right back in the thing. I don't want this."
Yeah, I
Caviar.
think it's gonna be one of those things where I feel like Sony has to get desperate in order for them to actually do this. Shout out to one
Yo, one
subset for
subset.
subscribing.
My man.
Shout out. I think the reason why Microsoft did it, I mean, they wouldn't have done it if they weren't desperate enough.
Yeah. Agreed.
And it just helped Game Pass. So with Sony, it's a different thing because I think a lot of I think they pride themselves on releasing like those first party titles and having them sell well. That's why when they don't sell as well as the God of War or Spider-Man, they kind of axe those things. Unfortunately,
There you go, Gravity Rush. Take
mm-hmm.
Take that, Gravity Rush.
So it's gonna be a long time before Sony ever does that kind of stuff. I did see Logic Wins put in the chat saying that they're easing it in. I think they're just hedging their bets.
Yeah.
More than anything. They're not they're dipping their just with anything with Sony, they're dipping their toes into something. Because it's just another stream of revenue, and hopefully, I don't know. I'm still mixed on whether I would want them to do day and date with PC. I know it's kind of a personal thing, but if they do day and date in PC, then there's never ever an excuse for me to buy a PlayStation ever again.
Yeah, no, you're right about that.
And hence why at least I think it sort of waters down their messaging. If you can get day and date, then okay, then that means you get a superior version of whatever console game that is on the same date. Why then most people who have a good enough PC would just go with that, right?
Well, that's what happened with me in the Xbox, right? I bought the Xbox in like 2015. Then 2016, I got a PC that was better than Xbox. I'm like, and every game is coming to Xbox. I stopped playing Xbox, and then this generation, I'm like, I didn't bother with an X. There's no point because I could get every single game on my PC. Basically, I know there's some games I can't get, but like new games available right there on PC and better looking. So why do I need an Xbox? So you're right, it does kind of hamper their console sales, but at the same time, Microsoft's taking a different stance.
They're not playing the same game.
Yeah, Sony is doing the more traditional thing, consoles, games, right? My Xbox is all about subscriptions, so they're definitely playing different games here. This is why I'm very interested to see where things will end up by the end of the generation, which will win out, the Sony/Nintendo strategy or the Microsoft strategy. We're gonna have to see. It's gonna be very interesting, to quote Mr. Richard Bailey Jr.
Here's the thing: the minute that it goes in the direction toward Microsoft, and once the Game Pass is starting to actually pay for itself, I think at that point in time, and then some, I think that Sony's probably looking at those numbers and be like, well, maybe we should bump up a little bit of this thing, bump up our little guy that we got.
Yeah. Hey, maybe they'll finally be like, hey, we got PlayStation Plus here. Got PlayStation Now here. How about we bring them together? You know, maybe that'll finally happen.
How about we hit there or
Hey, we got a little bit of this, got a little bit of that, we get this. Oh, by the way, Manny, I like how you said Sony specifically. You know Nintendo ain't doing that shit. You know?
Nintendo's in the blue ocean.
Yeah, right. Hey, we got a little bit of this, little bit of that. We bring them together. We get something special.
No, the only time Nintendo will ever do that, it'll be like it'll be like years off.
Oh yeah, Nintendo will do it in 20 years. You know,
they'll do it in 20 years when it's already like obsolete and all the other companies are making millions and millions of dollars, and they're like, "Hey, we heard of this streaming thing service."
Like, how about
granted they are doing a streaming service. It's just you got to buy the game first. What was it? Dying Light 2? Isn't that a streaming game?
Yeah. But like the whole Game Pass model, they'll do it in like 20 years. And then the fanboys will still go crazy. Oh my God, Nintendo's innovative.
It'll be like innovative, just like just like the Mac people. Oh my God, this is so innovative. We've never heard of this before. It's never existed until now.
Oh man. All right, let's move on. Next question. Good stuff. Oh, we already answered that one, didn't we? The PC ports one. And okay, so we'll move on to another one. Another PlayStation question. We got a lot of PlayStation questions. What's going on tonight?
A lot of PlayStation on people's.
What is a pony down?
A lot of PlayStation on folks' mind.
I was saying that was yours, Damon. That's right. I booted him.
Oh shit.
Hey, listen, man. You not only were you making life tough for us, you were making life tough for the fans. That's not good, For the real fans of Throwdown,
Oh.
All right, man. Where's Blitz at, man? There he is. What's going on, brother? All right. And shout out to everybody else who's in the chat right. Hold up, I'm giving shout outs right now, man. One subset, Blitz, Logic wins. We got the crew up in here. Who else, man? Who's lurking around? Mighty Nerd, I see you in there, man. Can't hide from me. The Eye of Sauron. Fanatic Tone. I don't know. Fanatic. I'm calling you Fanatic. What's with all those hearts, man? You love us. We love you too, man. Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, man. Next question here. From Mob Hits. The rumor man himself.
Oh.
This question is not a rumor, though. Or is it? No, we'll see. Okay. With the income being generated from PC ports, should Sony offer up free online play on PlayStation Plus, or should they continue to funnel the money towards game development? I mean, what's that free stuff?
Yeah, Sony is never going to do that.
What is this, PlayStation 3 era?
Yeah, right? Like, dude, they are never gonna go back to that.
They're never gonna go back. You know how it is. It's like like once they take something away from you, they never give that shit back.
Yeah, when they find a way to generate more income, they ain't giving that money back to you.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
It's a constant stream of revenue that they can always count on, and always keep building. So. No, definitely not. They're not going to say no to keep making money.
Yeah.
Theoretically, when it comes to making money, with all the ads that a lot of these games put in their games, it used to be the idea like, okay, you're putting ads in the games, that means you're paying for the games, so that means the price of games lower. No, they don't. They don't get any lower. They get higher. Nope. EA's got advertisements up the wazoo in their games.
Yeah.
Those games don't get any cheaper.
Yeah, they're not taking that back. It's like when they pass laws, they never just repeal the law. Like, oh, that law's passed. It had its time. Now we can take back. No, just keep piling it. So, no.
Patriot Act? What are you talking about? Yeah. We're going to listen to all your calls.
Hey, yo, Henry, who's calling? All right, man. So, yeah, I think that's an easy one. No, it ain't happening. It ain't happening. All right. Moving on. Another PlayStation question from Mebs. Yeah, PlayStation.
Another PlayStation answer.
You're right. Why hasn't Sony sold any custom PS5 plates? Sony selling what is essentially molded plastic with probably a huge profit margin is as good as printing money. Yeah, you're right. It's like that's easy money right there.
Yep, that is easy money. They made
think
their
they're
thing. They made their thing so stupidly easy to essentially modify. Why not sell these plates? In fact, like, yeah,
Go ahead, Clark.
I
like
don't
Yeah.
if
know.
if anything, they need to do like do like what they do with the controllers. They sell off the license and have a bunch of different companies making covers for the damn thing.
Yeah, they could easily do
Yeah.
that.
But then who would buy all the special edition PlayStations when they come out?
The funny thing about like even with the PlayStation, the original PlayStation 4, doing new covers and stuff for those things was stupidly easy. You didn't even need to manufacture anything new. All you needed to do was just essentially, print a skin on, print something on the surface and just remove whatever was on there.
Yeah, but the
Is
thing is,
there
go ahead.
is there a shortage on plastic also, or
Yeah, I
what's
was
going
about to say, right? Yeah, because it's like, but the thing is, like, even during the presentation when they showed PlayStation, like, yeah, removable plates, they said it right there. So I'm like, why aren't you at least partnering with somebody to make official faceplates? Like, and the thing is, like, Brett, to your point, they could still have those special editions and faceplates. Again, more money, more money, more money. Remember, they call it more money, more money. Oh, speaking about money, who's making it rain? Black Viet, just subscribe. What's going on, brother? Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right. So yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why they didn't do it, man.
Yeah, on the surface, Brett's point makes a lot of sense. It's like, yeah, why make custom plates where it's gonna make it less appealing for people to buy those special editions? But they've done that.
They've done it already,
Like Manny mentioned on the PS4 the PS4 days, like those easy, like, just move your hand and it slips open and just replace it with those other things. There's tons of those.
They were stupid easy to modify. I mean, so I don't know how easy the new PlayStation, the PlayStation Pro was, but I know the OG 4, you could just pop all those plates right off and then just put something new on there.
Yeah.
But the only thing is that the shitty thing about a lot of this is that in Japan they seem to do it more, they seem to do more custom plates than the States did.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like you had to go through some hoops in order to get the colored, like the crazy colored plates that if you wanted to get for it. But in Japan, they're like, yeah, you can just buy it.
Yeah, but again, they can have both. They can have like here's the God of War limited edition, PlayStation, and here's Sky Blue, or some shit like that.
Or even then, like you could even do two different God of War situations where you literally buy your funky God of War console, right? But then you also you can go to the store and buy totally different other plates for God of War themed plates.
Yeah, exactly. More money, more money, more money. So yeah, I don't know. I don't understand the reasoning.
I mean, if any of these, what is that company?
D-Brand.
And if any of this D-Brand shit is taught of Sony is that they need to really start putting the flag down on this shit because people want it.
Yeah,
and it's obvious people want them.
I think their goal is to use it to increase kind of reasons. Like right now, everybody's just trying to get a PlayStation 5. They don't need help selling PlayStation 5s. They need help manufacturing them. So once everybody's gotten one, I think that's when they're going to start coming out with the customizable stuff. Like they put the lid on D-Brand so fast that that they have plans to make money of their own. They don't want D-Brand digging in their pockets. But why not wait for the initial novelty for the PlayStation 5 to kind of wear off for your consumer base? Let everybody get one, let it calm down, and then pull a Nintendo, and then trickle a little bit more. A little bit more. Just keep them coming.
Yeah, I'm just checking right now because I was curious. As of July 28th, 2021, the PlayStation 5 has sold 10 million units. So that's a lot of people that could potentially buy plates, just already. So, but yeah, I agree. Like, once things stabilize, you could probably sell a hell of a lot more. But Sony, get on it, man. Make money, Keep Jim Ryan happy.
I wonder how easy it is to do things for Xbox. Like, I mean, you have to take the whole damn thing apart and then,
Yeah, I would imagine, because Sony's just pop off the plastic and you're good to go.
You know what it is? They'll make like an Xbox cover where essentially it's like a thing that's literally slightly larger, around it, so you can just slide a shade over it, and then there you go. There's your new cover for the Xbox.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, right. Just slip it on.
You just slip it on.
Got to make sure it's like doesn't like mess with the heat.
Nah, man, it's just literally like slightly above, like maybe I don't know, millimeters or whatever above or whatever, so it fits snug. It just
Yeah.
fits right over it. Or or we could go the Brett route where just stick those vinyl thingies.
Yeah,
on
you could
there.
do that too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Have you invested in any of those new ones, or are you still sort of like, meh?
Actually, no. For funny reasons, like I like the way my Xbox looks. It's very nondescript, doesn't draw a lot of attention. It's good. The PlayStation, on the other hand, is so fucking ugly. I just had to hide it behind the TV completely. Like, there's no stickers that you can put on that's gonna make it not look like a monstrosity.
Man, you remember you saw my shit, man? How big that thing is? It's crazy, man.
It's so huge. That thing is huge. It's huge.
It's huge.
Well, like when you take those goofy plates off of it, it doesn't seem as big, does it?
I don't know. I've never taken the plate off, but
Well, like because D brand, they actually have like essentially a cut down version of the thing. So I'm wondering if it doesn't sit as tall, look as tall or as wide with all that additional useless garbage that's on it.
well, I don't know. Look at Carlos's, man. He has a D brand one,
Well, he doesn't have the new one. He doesn't have the new sleeker D brand one.
Oh, it's a sleek. I thought it was the same, but just they made holes in it.
Well, they chopped off all the edges on it.
Oh, they did?
Yeah,
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so
it has to be different.
So everything sits.
Ooh, I want that then.
So everything sits snug on the console, like so it doesn't have that little wedge and all that shit that it's got. All it is just it's snug against the console.
Yeah, see, I would prefer that.
I like that one a lot. I just wonder how more dust that thing will get.
Yeah.
Because it's got those openings.
Yeah, that's a good point.
According to them, hey, just dust it out. Or I forgot what they said. Some snide comment they made about it getting more dust inside.
Oh yeah, look at that. It is a little sleeker.
Yeah, it essentially hugs because the main PlayStation 5 console isn't wedged like and just like that. The initial center part of it is actually quite even.
Yeah.
With the exception of that stupid CD bump on the bottom.
They had to change.
Had to change something.
Gotta change something in order for it to. It's like that's why they said the whole thing. It's like, oh, come at us, lawyers, because now it's like there's differences between the normal plates and their new custom ones.
Yeah.
I wonder how much those plates are going on eBay now. Yeah, the original ones.
The old ones, yeah. Man, I'm buy this shit just for the fucking box,
Yeah, you see the box is all like it's like a transformer.
Yeah. Yeah.
A transformer.
It's like a transformer.
Transformer.
By the way, I don't know why, but this made me think of Big Mike. But shout out to Big Mike, man. It's his birthday.
Oh, shit.
Yo, happy birthday, Big Mike. Yo, Mike, you good?
Yo, Mike, you good? Oh, man. All right. Next question. Do I have it ready, though? Yes, I do. All right, next couple of questions will be about the Grand Theft Auto Trilogy Definitive Edition.
Uh-oh. Oh, shit.
Oh, shit. Here we go again. All right, first up, we got Kishak. He goes, I don't understand the outrage over the graphics in GTA Trilogy, the Definitive Edition. The old GTA games weren't aiming for realistic graphics until Grand Theft Auto 4. Are the modders to blame for setting unrealistic expectations? I've seen some of that. People expected GTA 5 quality graphics from these games. Like, bro, all they're doing is I know they're running on Unreal Engine now, but it's like they're trying to maintain the feel of the originals, and the originals, like Kishak said, they were not trying to be realistic. They're very stylized, GTA 3, San Andreas, and Vice City,
I don't buy it.
You don't buy it? Why is that?
I don't buy it. Because look at what they did with Demon Souls. Look at what they did with Diablo 2. It's perfectly capable to actually make the graphics not look like hot garbage and still keep the game running underneath it. And you didn't have to make it like GTA 5 style, but like some of the pictures that I've seen, like, man, that shit looks hard to look at. I realize I've been spoiled by better graphics for quite a while now, but sometimes going back, like, you really get to that ugly, awkward phase that PlayStation had, where everything just
Let's see
kind of.
Claude there. Claude creeping up on the camera.
Yeah, there he is. Go ahead,
Game
Brett.
will look this good.
Yeah,
it
he
needs
gonna
to
look like that.
the game needs to look like this.
Just
Yeah.
there was definitely an era where 3D graphics were just awful looking. But honestly, I think that's the ugliest point in time in all of gaming, because at least pixels had fucking charm, man.
By the way, I'm gonna say this though. That era that these 3 GTA games came out at were not that era, because think about it. Grand Theft Auto 3 came out the same year as Final Fantasy X and Metal Gear Solid 2. Two games that still look great.
Yeah, so it has to do it also with the company and with the way they made those games in general. Those games had, like, there are a lot of, let's just be honest, there are a lot of ugly Western games from that era.
Yeah, yeah.
You
You're
talking
right.
about
I
all
just
the
named
other
Japanese games. You're right about
You
that.
named a bunch of Japanese games that were really nice, but then you see some of those janky. But then again, from Grand Theft Auto, it wasn't like the graphics were passable.
Yeah,
But
and
it
for
wasn't-
what you were
it
getting
wasn't-
with that giant world that you'd never seen
Yeah.
in a game before, it's like, yeah,
It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't
console
it wasn't-
game, I should say, because PC games had some big worlds.
Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't. You weren't really buying Grand Theft Auto for the graphics. You were
Yeah.
buying Grand Theft Auto because of all the shit that you could do in the game.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And for
They were
myself,
passable.
yeah, they were passable. But the thing is,
I don't.
yeah, go
Do you
ahead.
think these new graphics are passable, man?
I think that, but opposite ends. I thought they looked fucking fantastic compared to the originals. I'm like,
Yeah,
this
I
looks
mean,
so good.
I'm thinking
They
back
just-
to playing
Yeah.
the old ones, and I was
They
like,
just
wow,
look
that
like
looks pretty
Yeah.
they
good.
kind of look like toys now.
Yeah, like if
Like
they did if you saw the video they released, they did the comparison. I'm like, holy shit, this looks good.
Yeah, like here's the thing. There's definitely a lot of things that they did not improve because they're still using the same environments and they're still using
Yeah.
a lot of the same assets reskinned, but all the characters,
All the
have gotten-
polygons
and all
are still
cars-
the same.
and
Yeah.
all the cars and all the characters and the cars and a bunch of other things have gotten like some stuff. Funny thing about it is that I forgot, as I remember, one of the reasons why they're probably not using the original engine, or they're just sort of doing like a port using Unreal. As I remember, that the company that the engine that they're using for the original Grand Theft Auto games, though that company was bought by another company. I can't remember the name of it, but they were using some other company's engine to make those to develop those games.
Yeah, I just assumed that the reason they're using Unreal is because it's easier to port. Because this is going to be on everything. It's going to be on mobile, so that's my thinking of why it's on Unreal. But it could also be that as well. It could be both. But yeah, I personally think they look like. When I heard the announcement, I'm like, whatever. But when I saw the trailer, I'm like, I'm so buying this day one. $60, take it. This looks fucking great. I'm there. But it was cool. It's like they look better, but they still remind me of the old games, and it made me think about playing them again and how great they were. Because like Grand Theft Auto, man, you already know that was my addiction back in the day, man. It's like I play Grand Theft Auto, I'm like I don't want to play nothing else, just GTA. That's all that matters right now. This is serious. So I really think that actually did a very good job, and I'm glad they didn't go bunking it around, making it look like Grand Theft Auto 5. That would kind of be, no. You don't need that.
Oh. Render. It was an engine that was made. Was called Renderware, and the company that developed it, I can't see who the company is.
Oh, that's cool. Logic One says that the new GTA games have reworked cutscenes. Not even Mass Effect did that. That's true. Mass Effect, when they go to the pre-rendered cutscenes, they look out of place.
Yeah, they're. So Electronic Arts actually owns this engine now.
Oh, maybe that's why.
Oh, that's why.
They own the Renderware engine.
People in the chat seem to think that the Grand Theft Auto games look good.
They look. I mean, it looks.
Yeah.
It looks sort of like what you remember.
Yeah.
But it has like light, like some light improvements. With the ray tracing they're doing on there, and some of the obviously the character models. They look. I feel like they also still wanted to keep the look of whatever the art of the game was.
Yeah, because those games were stylized.
Yeah, they were sort of stylized, like the way the covers were. So, I feel like they sort of wanted to keep that that feel. And then obviously they're not going to put a stupid amount of work on this thing.
Yeah,
Why?
because they're
They
not.
release one game every 10 years.
Well, I mean, to be honest,
And I also remember they want them to run on mobile. They can't go too crazy, you know.
Yeah, I know, man. I know. Like, I honestly like. My only thing is when people say like, oh, well, you can't really expect it to look like GTA 5. It's like, why? GTA 5 is a PS3 game.
Yeah, but
We're talking we can't expect a remake or a remaster, either or. When you call it remake or remaster, we can't. It's just a re-release. It's slightly polished up, but like, man, I didn't see a whole lot of work done in here. Maybe I just got spoiled from playing Diablo 2 because they fucking went in on that shit.
Yeah, but the thing is, Diablo's a remake, isn't it?
No,
it's a remake.
It's just a remaster.
Okay,
No, it's a
remaster,
remaster.
It's a remake.
No, it's not. They played it. It's literally running over top of the old code, man.
Yeah, but it's a remake on it's a remake on the same level as the Shadow of the Colossus is a remake, right? Or what is that, a remaster? I don't know. What do you call that?
See, games like Shadow Colossus, Demon Souls, and I guess Diablo kind of run that murky line where they have all these new assets but the old games underneath. So what do you actually call those? I don't know. Because they're not remasters, but they're not remakes. Like,
what do you call a remaster then? If you don't, if a remaster isn't like basically buffing up the graphics.
Yeah, like this Grand Theft Auto, I consider that a remaster. It's like it's just the same game with new layers of something over it. Like the other ones, like they have a lot of different things. It's not just new layers. They even redid like the environments and shit. Grand Theft Auto's not doing that.
Well, I mean, if you're talking about remasters, and then you're talking like if you're talking about the music industry. Okay, so if it's a remaster is like they essentially reworked a lot of the already existing assets of the game. So or assets of whatever the song is, hey, in let's use Metallica's "Injustice for All," where they essentially bumped up the bass line on the remasters of it. Still the same assets, still all the same parts, just they bumped up some parts and they fixed a lot of other things. Remake is essentially Metallica remaking Injustice for All. They're re-recording it over again.
Yeah. Resident Evil 2 and 3, those are remakes. they're old code, it ain't running underneath,
Yeah, well, no, like here's where I make the distinction. A remaster is upping the graphics. A remake is upping the graphics and the gameplay systems.
I would add the caveat of like has to be a brand new engine too.
Yeah, I mean, they usually a brand new engine, but if you do quality of life improvements to like bring the game up and like, that's rebuilding it, it's remaking it.
Yeah,
throwing a new shine of spit polish on it. That's what I call a remaster.
Yeah, I go with that. I agree with that. Yeah. By the way, Google even listed Diablo as a remaster. But yeah, I'm just speaking for myself. I'm glad they didn't go too crazy with these. They look great, but I don't mess with the originals. Like they could
have kept the style and made it look better.
But it does look good. They kept this. I guess it's just a difference in opinion because I'm like they kept the same style and it looks better to me. Like I'm getting both. Like I wouldn't want this to look like Grand Theft Auto 5. Like no, chill. But Brett, I will concede the point. They could do that if they wanted to. They could do that.
I mean, it's not awful. It still looks like super, super fucking dated.
Yeah, because of the old ass polygons underneath. But like, they didn't have ray tracing back in the day. In those games, for example, they didn't have like all that crazy kind of lighting back in the day either. But you're right. The polygons are still. By the way, do they still have mitten hands or do they have fingers now?
No, they have fingers. But my guess is that. They probably are, they probably don't, have individual finger work on them.
Yeah.
It's still probably using the base. It looks like they're using a lot of the original stuff with some additional changes. But here's the question I'm thinking, like, how are they getting this to work? Because obviously they can't use renderware. So it's some sort of port that they're doing.
Yeah. Again, maybe it's all that stuff's allowed because it's on Unreal now. Who knows?
I don't know. I mean, like it's an interesting thing because again, it's like what a part they would have to if they were using any part of renderware, they would have to be paying EA licensing.
They're probably not using renderware. They're
not using renderware, but how are they getting whatever's running in the renderware into Unreal?
Who knows, man? It'd be cool to hear how they did it for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it looks great, to be honest. I'm actually pretty because I originally dismissed it. I'm like, I don't care, I'm good. But because I just expected them to just like, hey, it's the old game just in 4K. Here you go. But they actually bothered to add in like brand new textures and lighting and ray tracing and all the other nice stuff that we expect in 2021. And this game is coming out this year, right? November, I believe. They're also doing an interesting promotion with this game too. So we got GTA 3 by itself on PS Now, San Andreas on Xbox Game Pass by itself.
Mm-hmm.
Very weird, you know?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
interesting.
people are pissed.
Yeah, it's very weird. And I was joking. I'm like, oh, is fucking Nintendo going to get the Vice City or something? Like, what's going on here, you know?
Not even Twitter blew up over this shit.
Yeah, which is, yeah, it's, I mean, what did you see on your end? Because to me, I just saw people going, huh? They were just confused, you know?
I saw a lot of shit talk. I saw a lot of butthurt PlayStation fans and a lot of really braggadocious Xbox fans. There's like,
we got the
getting
better
San
game.
Andreas day one on Game Pass. You're getting GTA 3 2 months later on PS Now. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, when you say it like that, put them in a ring together. I feel like one does come out of it over time.
For sure.
It was just enough gasoline on the fanboy flames to just really, because anything you can, any metric that they can, Twitter can use to compare the two systems, they're going to, and then people are going to start yelling at each other.
Yep.
So of course that happened.
Yeah. Yep. Twitter's being Twitter. You know.
I do agree. I like San Andreas better, and I don't like PS Now. So.
Yeah. Well, yeah. PS Now is like, come on, bro, really. Hey, at least they're giving PS Now a bone, kind of.
Well, they're giving them Grand Theft Auto 3, which was the
Yeah, but more people like Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, you know.
Yep.
All right, man.
They didn't put Vice City on anything. What did they put on?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Where's Vice City? Is it gonna be exclusive on PC? Yeah, I don't know, man. What about Vice City? More still love, man, for Tommy Vercetti, man.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if they have to pay Ray Liotta any residuals for that shit.
Here's the question a lot of people were asking me, and I couldn't answer because I don't know the answer. Right? Soundtracks. What's up with the soundtracks? Are they keeping the same music?
They probably would. I mean, there's also that shit, like essentially redoing the licenses for all those fucking soundtracks.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Rockstar has the money for it, but a lot of people are asking that question. I think rightfully so. I think it's a good question to ask.
All I know is that I know in the original one, all they did was the first game, like, you know, not first game, but 3. They essentially just licensed the soundtrack of Scarface.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's basically what they did, you know. All right, man. Good question. All right, we got another one here about GTA from Logic Wins, who's been joining us tonight, man. What's up, brother? What's up?
You the winner.
All right, you are the winner. Logically. All right. Are there any gameplay improvements not present in GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition that you wish made the cut? Personally, it would be nice if you didn't automatically drown in Grand Theft Auto 3 and Vice City.
Oh, that was mine. That's what I was gonna say. Like you had no chance to save yourself if you drove into the water. You were dead. That was it. You know, you can't get out. In San Andreas changed that. CJ could swim everywhere.
Yeah.
So it would be nice if it'd be hard to backport that
because you need to add a swimming animation.
Yeah,
you know?
You need to add all that.
To be honest, those 3 games are all connected anyways. They're pretty much using a lot of the same stuff.
So they could reuse CJ's animation. You're
theoretically, right. Yeah, you could reuse CJ's animation and essentially put it in. That's one of the questions that a lot of people have been asking. Essentially, are these game wide improvements? So, like, in other words, so all the planes and shit that you could do in CJ's game. And I think Vercetti, you could fly, right?
You could fly, yeah.
So would that also be applied to Claude? Who knows? Because
I'm gonna say probably not. You know, but they did. I'm gonna look this up because they do have a number of new gameplay enhancements.
Did they say like also like I think it wasn't Claude not able to ride a bike either, like ride motorcycles?
I don't remember. Yeah, somebody looked at it. The last time I played Grand Theft Auto 3 was, when it was originally out. You know, I could swear there were bikes in that, but I'm probably thinking about Vice City. You know,
Yeah, I remember Vice City having bikes.
yeah, that was like a bike was my main thing. I'm gonna read this. This is from IGN. Improvements to targeting and lock-on aiming, updated weapon and radio station wheels, updated mini maps with enhanced navigation, allowing players to set waypoints to destinations, updated achievements, trophies, yada yada. All right, so we got better aiming now, I guess, because the aiming in the first three games are apparently the aiming is now going to be in line with Grand Theft Auto 4. So that'll be kind of because remember the other ones had way different type of aiming. You know.
Yep, there's no bikes in GTA 3.
Nah, yeah, that sounds correct. So yeah, there will be minor gameplay improvements here and there, which should be interesting. But wait, what are the things? The thing is, again, I personally don't mess with that stuff too much. Actually, you know what I would want. I got an answer. You know what I would want? I want the ability to toggle on the old graphics and the old gameplay. You know, that would be cool.
Just to do a comparison.
Yeah, just to do a comparison. Because I'm thinking like, you know how you can't, because these games that are coming out now are replacing whatever's currently available. They're taking them off the stores. You know, so I'm thinking about like a Star Wars situation where it's like you can't even play the originals anymore. You know, see the original movies. I'm like, can you at least give us the ability to play the original versions of these games if we want? So it would be
like
cool.
The Master Chief Collection?
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. They just toggle it on and off, you know? So I think that would be good. They haven't said anything about that. So that would be my main thing. Give me the ability to switch back and forth between the old game and the new game.
And you can go, ugh, when
Yeah,
you get the controls in the previous one.
Yeah, I think they have triggers for the driving now. Before it was the face buttons, you know? I remember with GTA 4, that fucked me up. I'm like, triggers? What is this? What about the rest of you guys? What other gameplay enhancements would you like to see?
That's interesting. I mean, it's because if you had like any significant gameplay enhancements, it's essentially changing the whole game.
Yeah,
like adding bicycles to GTA 3 or like you guys mentioned the whole thing with the swimming.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't think I would change anything, to be honest.
Yeah. That's a tough one. I had to search like, what would I change? Because I kind of wanted them to, at least gameplay wise, leave it as alone as possible. You know.
Yeah, because I guess you're trying to get the essence of the old games.
Yeah.
And honestly, Rockstar doesn't want to do as much work on this as possible. They just want to get these on the new graphics and get them playable and ship them out. So no, I don't think I would want to change anything structurally from how the games played.
Yeah.
Before.
What about the rest of you guys? Anything?
I agree with that. I mean, what's the point of changing the game? I mean, I'm an old school enthusiast sometimes. Like, one of the reasons I like Diablo 2 is because it still has a lot of those really hard mechanics. So maybe some days I'm like, man, I miss the days and age where they didn't just follow waypoints everywhere. If I want to go back and play a game that recreates that, I want to recreate it. I don't want it made with all modern amenities because maybe that's the fucking problem.
There you go. Chris, anything? Oh, you already said, the swimming.
Yeah, the swimming. Yeah, I agree with that.
All right, cool.
Give Chris the swimming. Come on.
Give him a swimming.
I mean, you don't know how many times. I mean, also when Vice City came out, I figured, you're in like Miami. There's water. They're gonna put in a swimming mechanic. Well, I was dead wrong.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's just like Miami. You know.
Yeah. As I remember, like I think, yeah. So I would, to be honest, I would say like just like with Chris, but I would say essentially with all the game wide stuff, with the exception of maybe the some other things, but like the game wide of all three of those games, since those games are all so closely connected, that you essentially have a lot of the abilities that CJ would have had at the end of the game, but you have that applied to Tommy, and then you have that applied to Claude.
Yeah. All right, man. Moving on. What we got now?
Real quick before you do,
What's up?
I actually kind of want to say the opposite. I wish they would bring back the San Andreas mechanics in the new GTAs.
Oh, the essentially how much you eat.
Oh, the
how much you
RPG
take care of
stuff?
yourself.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
RPG.
yeah,
take
yeah.
care
Well,
of yourself.
I mean, it was RPG stuff, but the weird thing about it was almost like a Fable-ish type of RPG, not where you just drop points into something where you're like, nah, man, I ride my bike everywhere. I'm dope on this bike. Or, you make them fucking huge and bulky because you just lift weights all the goddamn time, or eat too many cheeseburgers and you just get fat. Like, I love that, man.
Yeah, and then also it affected how you attacked people. So like if you punch somebody, they go flying across, because you're like
Yeah.
super strong now.
Well, yeah. Well, like even in like Fable, which kind of was the only other thing I could think of that did the same thing. Like, I'm pretty sure if you like ate enough food, like you took less damage from people hitting you if you were fat, but you moved slower. So, but I mean, the cool thing about that was because you could just play the game kind of organically, and then your character would just become a representation of the way that you play the game. You didn't necessarily have to sit there and be like, man, I'm just gonna lift weights, fucking forever until I get to this point. You're just like, no, I just lift weights every day with Franklin. Now I can just punch a hole in a wall. Dope.
But Brett, you just made me realize that's probably the way it was meant to be played. I'm the other
Wait,
guy.
is that not how you played it?
No, what I did was I'm like, okay, because I replayed the game a bunch of times. So I always went in there. Okay, I'm gonna spend the next 2 hours beefing up CJ. Then I'll really start playing. And that's how I did it. I didn't do it organically. I went there with a purpose goal of I'm gonna make buff CJ, or one play I'm gonna make fat CJ. I'm gonna hang out 2 hours in the burger joint and get fat.
Well, but see that was kind of the beauty of it, man. Like, you're running around town, you're buff CJ, you're kicking ass, you're taking names, you're going on a John Wick fucking rampage, and you just have to keep eating snacks because your health keeps going down. And at the end of your rampage, you're like, oh man, I'm not really taking very good care of myself. I'm apparently just fat and tired now.
Or where you purposely like get on a bike and like just drive around, or what I did was just pedal around for 2 hours until my stamina was all good. Like I spent like an entire day just like, okay, I'm just gonna focus all on CJ, make him as beefy as everything, swimming, biking, weightlifting, and then I'll start playing the game.
That seems much less fun.
But that's it to me. That's the most efficient. Me, man. I'm all about efficiency. So I'm like, let me just get this out of the way, and then I could just steamroll through the rest of the game, and it worked pretty well. I didn't even consider just doing that organically. It's just like, oh wait, I could do this. Let's max it out. Let's fucking go. Because they don't give you any limits. It's like just go crazy.
Max out the gauge.
Yeah, exactly.
But I have a
go
dumb
ahead.
question.
Uh-oh.
Are all these games coming out on Steam?
Yes, I believe so. Yeah, they're coming out to everything. Yeah, I think even Switch is getting these games.
Oh,
only
damn.
Grand Theft Auto's the games on Switch. Just saying.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, how old's the game? It's probably pushing the limits of what the Switch can do, but it's capable.
What's the youngest game on this? Like 15 years old or something?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure a Switch can handle a 15-year-old
Yeah, I think
game.
so. I think so.
Well,
Not sure, but think.
It's a 15-year-old game with some additional flourishes.
By the way, one subset goes, I wonder if they're gonna change hot coffee.
Hot coffee was only a thing that was locked off, that you had to use a Game Genie to get to work. So,
Yeah.
What about hot coffee?
Yeah. Well, he said hot
No,
coffee.
because those were the days when causing controversy was a good thing for Rockstar, and they leaned into it like a publicity thing. Nowadays, you should not do that. Do not offend people in order to promote your game. It's not going to work the way that it used to.
Yeah.
well, I mean, for them, they weren't leaning into it. They just was like, oh shit, because they didn't even really. Well, the higher ups didn't even know about it because. They did what usual game developers do. When they remove something from a game, all they do is just put up a big wall and say, "Don't look here," but it's still there.
I'm talking about the shit that they left in the game. For the longest time, the game was known as that game where you can beat a prostitute to death with a baseball bat.
Yeah, well, they never leaned into that either. I think that was the general media that was sort of pushing that thing. I think the thing about it is that all the bad publicity that sort of came off of that sort of like got people's interest. Like, oh shit, you can really do that? Like, you know. So essentially, it's almost like the media was advertising the thing because it's because.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I was gonna
Rockstar,
say, like,
I think the thing is, Rockstar never apologized for that. They're like, all right, yeah, you can.
it worked for them back in the day. I don't think it would work for as well for them these days.
Yeah, these days will be a little tough. You know, let's just be real here.
And to be honest, the thing about it is that the way the media was using it, they weren't even playing the game the way you're supposed to be playing it, right? Like the point isn't to go out and go and beat up prostitutes and take their money. That's not you can't. It's one of things that you can do in the game, but it's not the way they were like, oh, you could get points for it. No, you don't really get points for it. You get maybe police points, and they'll come after you and try to kill you.
Yeah, you're right. The media did say, "Oh, you get points for beating up hookers." Like, no, you don't. You don't get points.
You get money, but it's just some pocket change.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you don't really get any like additional unless it's you could do horrible, just like in real life. You could do horrible things to people, and there are consequences to doing those things. But I mean, it's not to the point where it's like they're rewarding you.
Yeah. You ever think behind those games, you just walk around with a rocket launcher in your back and nobody says nothing.
No,
Like,
well,
what hello, officer.
It's his constitutional right.
Remember that scene where Tommy Vercetti and Lance were walking around, they're dressed like police officers. They walk by some real cops. Hello, officer, how you doing? Shut up, Lance. Oh man.
Isn't Lance played by the dude from Miami Vice?
Yeah, that was him. All right. The media tried to use that one sex scene in Mass Effect to disparage it. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, they did. And that to be honest, that shit fucked them over even more because it essentially started, they started becoming a little bit afraid about any of that sort of stuff. Oh, it's a game that has sex in it.
And then like a bunch of years later, The Witcher comes out with more hardcore scenes. Nobody said nothing.
Yeah, because to be again, like I think at the era that at least I think Mass Effect is that era toward the end where the idea of an adults only game,
yeah,
it was more of an idea. But like even with Grand Theft Auto, that was an M for mature game.
Yeah.
How is it that like if you're not doing your job as a parent, why are you giving your fucking kids a Grand Theft Auto?
Man. Yeah, don't complain just because you didn't do your job,
Exactly. I remember, well, me and Tony always bring up that this one time where it was like that I think some mom was complaining about how how her kid or how she has to keep buying those Grand Theft Auto games, those violent Grand Theft Auto games for her kids, and it's like, how about you don't buy the game for them,
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you stop giving it
How
so much of a
how am I
big deal.
how am I gonna get them to shut up? I don't know. Be a parent.
I don't know, man. I think personally, keeping kids away from those things, it doesn't do a whole lot of good.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. As as any kid has ever grown up, the minute that like I feel like when you start to say, okay, no, you can't have this. I think a lot of times, obviously, like all of us, we went to see that shit, right?
Yeah.
The forbidden thing. So it's like that gentle. It's that level. Like where do you find that point of like, okay, what to expose it to? Like my dad used to take, my mom used to take me to see rated R films.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of us grew up in or around the 80s, in which nobody gave a shit, and we turned out mostly kind of okay between us. I mean, I was watching Aliens when I was like 5. I had all the toys. I had the Spawn toys. I
mean, yeah, like I feel like in general, at least with the way my mom and my dad did it, is that they always used to, profess it before, when we sat down, like, hey, none of the stuff that you see in this movie is real. I mean, granted, that didn't mean it didn't scare me. Fucking Terminator scared the shit out of me as a kid. So, I mean, I just think that like there's if you're going to go down that road, there's also a fair amount of watching your kids and seeing what your kids do. My mom used to watch me game. Like she liked watching me play Sonic and Mario, and she knew the characters. stuff like that.
Yeah, my mom too. She liked that stuff. All right. Where are we? And I got confused here. All right, here we go. What we have next? Mob hits. All right. Okay, which with Xbox's 20th anniversary celebrations currently underway, what are your top 5 favorite Xbox games and or franchises?
Xbox franchises. Well, I mean, I have to say I do enjoy the Gears of War franchise.
Gears.
As Adam would say, that roadie run.
The roadie
run.
run.
I
The
mean,
butter game.
I mean, the one thing I did, again, like I have to say, like
The roadie run, that changed my life. That put hairs on my chest.
I always felt that at least with Gears of War, that ability to pop in, jump into your game and jump out, it was so simple. If your buddy online was playing Gears of War, he could just jump in and he's playing Dom. Same thing with if you're playing player 2 in the couch co-op. I still like even Adam will say this. There's barely seen any games that still do this, where essentially you have an additional side character and then your other character is played by somebody else. So I definitely would say Gears of War is one of them, is at least a personal favorite of mine. I'm not a big first person shooty guy, so I don't care for the gay Halo games, but I do respect them for the storytelling and then the character. I mean, he's cool as fuck. What, Master Chief? So
Yeah.
yeah.
Let's see. For me, you already mentioned the big ones. I like Gears of War, like the Halos. And that's about it. Because the Xbox doesn't really have a lot of franchises.
You don't like Stubbs the Zombie or Blinks the Cat?
Yeah, you got to understand. Like I got into Xbox late 2015, so I don't really have that history there.
No, man, you don't play that Blue Dragon.
Nah, I don't play none of that.
With the artwork by Kira Toriyama.
Yeah,
Can
what
I
about
answer
Ninja
for Brett?
Gaiden? Yo,
Yo.
Can I answer for Brett?
yeah, go for it.
Fable, Elder Scrolls, Fallout.
Damn. Yep.
Yes.
Like,
'cause
keep
now
it going.
they're
Keep
all-
it going.
Yeah, keep going.
Oh, there's 2 more. Oh, Ninja Gaiden. You said Ninja Gaiden.
Yep.
I'll give the extra one to be determined.
Yeah.
How about Doom?
Dude, that's not Xbox,
Yeah.
though.
For a
Now
while
it
it was.
is.
Oh,
now it is.
Yeah.
By the way,
I
to be
didn't
fair,
think about that.
to be fair, that he did say from the. Actually, no, he did say the history of it. So now it's history, right?
Now history. So I mean, you could literally say the Fallout franchise, the Elder Scrolls franchise.
Okay, let's pull it back a little bit then. Okay, so I got Gears, I got Halo, I got Doom, I got Fallout, and Wolfenstein. There you go.
There you go. That's
Man.
all. Those are all. See how them just picking up fucking
Bethesda.
ZeniMax, picking up ZeniMax and Bethesda. Just it literally gave them the history of Western gaming. That's like Super fucking Smash Brothers, man. Super Smash Brothers literally has every single important Japanese developed character inside of it. That's exactly like that. Who's coming now?
Yeah, I would go with obviously Halo, Gears,
Gears.
Fable. What else is an Xbox franchise? I mean, Fallout and Elder Scrolls. Obviously, if you're gonna count those, then yeah, definitely those will be my other 2.
Yeah, Chris, Xbox. Oh, by the way,
Well-
it could be individual games too. Just throw that out there.
Yeah, I mean, I love Halo and I love Gears, so those 2 easily. I'll throw Forza in there, 'cause I think those
Forza.
are very good. I mean, especially the Horizon games. Killer Instinct
Oh, very nice.
Oh,
and yeah, I'll throw. I mean, the rare games are good, so I'll throw Perfect Dark in there also.
Cool. All right.
I mean, Doom. I mean, I can't wrap my head around all the Bethesda stuff because I would say like Fallout, no, but my mind explodes like your brain did. Like, oh, Doom, they own that. Shit.
Yeah, it's still processing, you know.
Yeah.
Kind of like the other day, I saw actually the other day in the Nintendo store, I saw the online Nintendo store. They're selling a replica Sega Genesis 3-button controller. I'm like, Nintendo's selling how? Like you know what I'm saying? Like my brain is like, it's not compute. But yeah, I think we answered that. Moving on here. Like I told you guys, I might get distracted every once in a while. Where are we? All right, Tumeke.
Got to make it.
What's going on, brother? All right, he's in the chat too. Very timely question here.
Oh.
All right, since Tony is loving Dune so far, yes. If you see my Twitter this entire weekend has just been nothing but Dune. Fucking
Oh my
awesome.
god, every 2 hours.
Yep, damn right. Fucking awesome. Especially given how shitty movies have been lately, you know?
No.
All right, since Tony is loving Dune so much, what is your pitch for a game based on the movie, books, and what developer would you like? This is for a brand new PS5 Series X PC version, just in case there has been a Dune. There's only one Dune game. Came out in 1992, I believe.
It's Dune 2, man. That's what I was talking about that when we were doing the podcast. The strategy game.
Yeah.
I love that game.
See, but here's the thing. See, this is what I like about Dune Maker. I wish more, even though he's a little bit more our age, but like I wish more younger people would actually go, hey, you know what? If this exists, let me look it up. You know, he at least acknowledged the fact that, hey, maybe I don't know this. Like those idiots that wrote that article. This is 15 reasons why Dune will make a great TV series. It already was a TV series, you dumbasses. You know. Anyway,
and it was actually a very, very good TV series. It was probably they spent the most money on any show on there, and it literally paved the way for what you guys love right now with your Game of Thrones and your fucking Walking Dead. All that shit started from Dune.
Yeah. But yeah, so what would a modern I'm gonna go off the bat. I don't want it to be another RTS. Fuck that shit.
No, I would love it. I mean, I don't want it to be in like where you're playing a Paul Atreides.
No,
but I would.
Yeah,
I
why
would
not? It could be. You're right. Like it doesn't have to be Paul. It could just be like you have this expansive universe. Manny, you were like, well, everybody just dropped off. What the fuck happened?
Yeah, everybody did just drop off.
Okay, I don't know. Again, I don't want to talk about Doom, but you're right. It's like I like where you're going with this. Like that universe is so vast, you don't have to set it. Not only do you not have to set it with those characters, you don't have to set it at that time. You just gave me an idea. You know what I want? I want a Dune game that's set during the Butlerian Jihad, where they're basically fighting the machines. Because there's no AI, none of that stuff. Like I want to see that war where they actually finally eradicate higher computers and stuff. That would be really cool. Because go ahead.
Well, yeah, I was thinking like, same sort of idea where you essentially take a story or a thing from the world of Dune, because there's millions of characters. Like you could literally do a Elder Scrolls like game.
Yeah.
Within the world of Dune.
That would be cool. I'm with that.
Chris, you can't get back in.
Yeah, Carlos had the same problem. So Discord fucked up. I'm glad I didn't drop off. Fuck. Are we still live? I hope we're still live.
Well, I mean, I see only one other. Brett is still here.
Yeah, Brett's still there. He's holding it down. I don't know, Brett. Yeah, I guess you don't care about Dune, right? So no participation from you.
Nah, not so much yet. Tried watching the movie. I fell asleep.
Yeah. Is the movie the equivalent of Witcher for you? Witcher 3? Where you tried, but it just wasn't clicking?
I fell asleep. I got bored and I fell asleep.
Damn.
When I say the Witcher, I'm like, man, hats off. The game is obviously a well-made game. Respect. I can't say that with Dune because I just fell asleep. I'm sure it's good. A lot of people fucking like it.
Yeah.
I would also say, like, what time of day are you watching it? I would also.
Oh, I
say
keep trying to watch it after work at night. It's like 2.5 hours
Oh
long.
no! Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. Like that's like watching Blade Runner at that time. That's gonna put your ass to sleep. Put if you're gonna put it on, put it when you're most alert on like maybe on a weekend at around 2 o'clock or 1 o'clock or something like that when your head
That's one of those like
is in the
Sunday
game.
afternoon movies.
Don't put yourself at night because that's good shit's gonna put you right to sleep. I remember
especially after dinner.
Yeah, it is. Here's the thing: great movie, but Brett, it is a slow burn. So you need energy for that. Even though my ass, I watched that shit at midnight because I was so hyped, you know.
But did you watch Blade Runner? Like, I mean, because you
Brett,
saw the new Blade Runner, right?
Yeah. Did you see the new Blade Runner, Brett?
I didn't. No, I didn't hear good things in that. So
Brett,
you're actually this is the first time anyone's
actually
actually been recommending it. I heard a lot of like not worth it, didn't capture the magic. Just leave it where it is.
Brett,
actually,
you know me. I'm
good.
Mr. Action. I like high action adrenaline movies. Watch fucking Blade Runner 2049. It is brilliant. It is absolutely fantastic. You know, as a matter of fact, I said this: Blade Runner, Dune. I need to watch Arrival. Then I'm going to put Denny V as like up there with Nolan. Like this guy's fucking great. You know. But anyway, Dune. So yeah, Manny and we kind of have the same idea. You know.
like
a big open world. By the way, we have Chris and Carlos back. Fuck you, Discord. You know.
Yeah, and Tony, you just did the classic mistake.
Oh, what's up?
You know Brett's the contrarian. He's not gonna like the movie.
No. The thing is, Brett tried to watch it, but to his defense, he tried to watch it when he was tired after work, so he felt.
This is the law. This is the law of throwdown physics.
This is true. Brett has to be the contrarian. But
it does seem like Tony and I could never be on the same side of the fence. That's what it seems to be.
Yeah. It's either off. Like either Tony hates something that Brett loves, or Brett doesn't like something that Tony likes.
Yeah. No, but I think I have high hopes for Brett when it comes to Blade Runner and Dune. I think he may like those if he's in the right mindset. You know.
I like years ago when it came to like
I didn't like Blade Runner either back in the day. I thought fuck this shit.
Because these idiots literally decided to watch Blade Runner in a party atmosphere. You're not gonna want to watch that shit.
Yeah, that's true.
No, like you put on something.
You got to put on Pacific Rim or something. You know,
put something like Pacific Rim or Mad Max Fury Road.
That's
stuff that
true.
You don't need to pay full attention to that because. Again, Harrison Ford for like most of that movie is getting thrown out of windows and shit. He's getting his ass whooped. He's not having a good day. So for doing the game, I would like to see like an open world game, kind of like the Skyrim idea, kind of like where essentially it's or The Witcher, essentially a game that takes place in the world of Dune, but you're not exactly playing. You don't exactly need to play Paul Atreides. You could play some guy that they just made up.
I almost feel like this would benefit from like a Death Standing-ish kind of gameplay. Not straight up walking simulator, but like like just large desolate. Like the world doesn't seem as lived in as I would like for a game like that.
Well, the thing is, the world is actually super lived in because it has all this rich history behind it. So but again, you don't have to set it during the time of the movie. You could set it hundreds of years afterwards, hundreds of years beforehand. Like
you're dealing with different sorts of different sorts of craziness that like ascendance of the different stuff that is happening. So you could you can put it during the machine war that they supposedly had, or you could have it during. He could be somebody who's a part of the the one of the rebellions on the planet Dune. That happened.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, there's so much they could do with it. So, but I agree generally, and this is coming from Manny, open world game. But like, if Manny says open world game, then that means something.
No, because I feel like it's such like the world itself of Dune is so vast and interesting that. I feel like locking it down to an established character actually does the world a bit of a disservice.
Agreed. Yeah, it's like Star Wars. You don't need to always be Luke. It doesn't always have to be during the rebellion. It could just be a bunch of different places. All right. What about the rest of you guys? Dune video game prospects.
Yo, remake the Dune 2, man.
Yeah. Why not? Why not? Why not? Right.
I mean, they even made up.
Yeah.
they made up another house. I don't know. I don't think there was a third house in the novel, was there?
They have other houses, you know.
Well,
Um,
did they name like another major one?
um, Carino, which is the house that the emperor belongs to. That's the other
Hmm.
major house that was named. But again, they could just add houses if they want, you know.
Yeah, yeah. So that Dune 2 had a house Ordos, and
Yeah,
their symbol. I think their crest was like an alligator or some sort
that
of
sounds pretty
lizard or
cool.
something like that. Yeah, everyone had different tech trees. Like you wanted to play Harkonnen though because they had the most offense, right?
Yeah,
Um, and the Mentat, he looked creepier. Like you had the Mentat, it was like the guy on the screen give you tips while you were playing.
yeah, yeah. There you go. Oh, look at that!
Um,
I went to the Dune wiki. There's a lot of houses here. Oh shit, they could pick a lot.
yeah, but what would be nice though, like, man, like I agree with you with the open world just because of all the stuff in there. But maybe if you could choose like if you were to play a Fremen
Yeah.
or
Ooh.
one houses,
Mhm.
or even what'd be nice if you could do like a privateer type of thing. Like maybe you work for you told us about the Spacefaring Guild,
Yeah.
the way you get around the galaxy. Like
Oh
maybe
yeah.
like if you could
Oh,
play from that like kind of a pulled out perspective, like you're sort of like managing that stuff.
that'd be pretty interesting, actually.
Yeah,
Are
because
you?
we never see anything outside of Arrakis. It's just
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
focused on Dune, but
yeah, and it's supposed to be this like giant galactic spanning empire. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Eh,
man.
we all know what Chris wants. Chris wants a game where you can bring water to Arrakis. That's all he wants.
Yeah.
No, oh, no,
Uh,
no, no. Tony,
yeah,
fill me in. I ain't
yeah,
paid for that now.
yeah.
Now,
That's a lot
wait,
of
how
money.
much? Oh, okay, okay. No, no. If I thought Spice just ruled everything. It's like, wait, I gotta pay for that? No, no. That's why they just brought the bullhead. That
Yeah,
was it.
yeah. Exactly. They had to sneak that shit in real quick. It's like, yo, we're gonna leave one or two guys behind to even out the weight. Good luck.
Mm.
Good luck on Planet Caladan by yourself, bruh. You know.
Damn.
So what I would do is and Barry Burton is kind of similar to what I was thinking, but not necessarily a rhythm game, but I would do a sandworm journey game. It's like, and I guess like you just get to eat people or
That,
things.
yeah, that would be pretty interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, well, no, I'm not going to tell you that. That would be a
Yeah.
spoiler.
What
Yeah,
what
no
if you did?
spoilers.
Yeah. What if you did?
It's not a spoiler for this movie, but it's a spoiler for
Potential movie. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, for the potential
Uh,
movie. Yeah.
It make Tony happy. Just make a Sim City type of game where you build up your desert city, and he's like, "Nah, fuck this city." You just summon the
That's
sandworms. They just decimate this shit. Nah, I hate this place. Let's start over.
There you go.
Hmm.
All right, that was a good
Fuck you,
question.
Harkonnen.
Yeah, fuck you, Harkonnen. By the way, Manny, did they pronounce that Harkonnen in the TV series or Harkonnen?
No, it was. Oh shit! What was it?
Because the movie it's tripping me out because they pronounce that Harkonnen, right? And
Yeah,
and I've always said it as Harkonnen.
Harkonnen.
yeah, because that's how
Um,
they pronounce it in the Lynch movie
Yeah, and
too.
it sounds
Yeah.
cooler to Harkonnen. You
I-
hear
it-
that
it
fucking
sounds
name,
evil.
it's gonna be some evil motherfuckers.
It sounds
Right.
evil. Well, no, yeah, I can't remember. I'm having trouble remembering what way that they said. I think it was Harkonnen.
Yeah,
Yeah, and the old game too. In Dune 2, they
yeah,
pronounce it
Harkonnen. Yeah, they
Harkonnen.
fucking it up, man. Yeah, how did James McAvoy pronounce it, man?
Well, James McAvoy was in the Children of Dune. He was in the later one.
Yeah, wasn't Harkonnen still around at that point?
House Harkonnen was still around, I think. I can't remember. I actually didn't watch the Children of Dune one,
Oh, okay.
or at least all of it. The second part.
Okay, I still gotta watch those. Anyway, thank you for the question. Timely question too. All right. Oh shit, we already did that one. Let me get back on track here. Oh, here we go. What are the most important aspects of a game to you? So I saw this on Twitter. What do you rank as the most important features in games? So these are the features that he ranks. This is a lot, so we may miss a couple of these. Graphical fidelity, frames per second, story, gameplay, effects, particle, ray tracing, immersion, character reacting to surroundings, breakable environments, controls, and sound. I don't know. Yo, by the way, I'm not gonna rank all these shits in order, bro. Just saying to you right now.
Yeah, I mean, I just give like choice cuts.
Yeah.
Feel like first and foremost for me is graphics. I mean, excuse me, not graphics. It's control. Second is graphics. And there was another one in there.
Sound or frame rate.
Sound. A frame rate doesn't. Frame rate is not like I'm okay with frame rates. I don't need to have it.
Oh, Carlos, do me a favor, bruh.
Oh,
One subset is asking where does he submit questions. I don't think he's in the Discord. Can you drop the link in there? You're allowed to do that, right? I think I gave you permission for that.
yes. Not on my account, but I can log into the Throwdown.
Yeah. Hook this man up, man. He needs to join the Discord, bro. All right. So for me, I got in trouble on Twitter for saying this, but
Shit.
You know, when don't I get in trouble on Twitter? I guess you know. For me, the story, man, story and characters and the world. That's number one because I can play a shitty game with bad controls if the story's good. I'm there. Mass Effect, the first one, is the prime example. The original one, not the remaster, they did a good job. I thought the game was atrocious. It played bad. It was buggy. You know, it was terrible. But the characters and the story were so good, I didn't care.
I forgot that. Yeah, definitely story is a high one.
Story that's like number one. Like if I don't care about the story or the characters, I don't give a fuck how good the gameplay. Here's a prime example, right? And I could be objective about this. Metal Gear Solid Revengeance, right? The gameplay is fantastic. But I didn't care about the characters. I didn't care about the story, so I don't care about the game. I don't care how good the game is. You know.
How much did you like Bloodborne's story?
I thought it was great. Actually, the world was so immersive.
Know it for like three-quarters of the game.
No, but Brett, didn't you hear what I just said? Story, world, characters. The world was so immersive. It was fantastic. You know, it was great. You know, but you're right. The story was like you had to explain that shit to me.
Yeah, well, that was like everybody loves Bloodborne. You're like, what's the story of Bloodborne? Everyone's like, I don't fucking know.
Yeah. Here's the thing about the Soulsborne games. You don't really, at least for me, I don't play it for. I just love the atmosphere of those fucking games, man. When you're in it, you're in it. You know, you feel like you're a part of that world. You know, and I mean, at least for me, the controls are good, but they're not like brilliant or anything. It's just being in that oppressive atmosphere. You know, and the sense that I'm slowly learning and becoming better over time, you know, that I'm mastering this world. So that still goes in line with what I said. The world immersion, all that has to be. If Bloodborne was just the controls, then I wouldn't give a shit, you know. Controls are probably actually, what are they for me? No, I think no, that because my three main ones are, you know, story game, you know, story/world characters. That's one. Then the graphics. If the game doesn't look good, I don't give a fuck how good it plays. I'm not playing it. No, not doing it. Granted, older games are getting an exception because I played them before. But like, if you have a brand new 2021 game that looks like ass, I don't care. Not playing it. I'm not interested. Then the gameplay. You know, so that's my order. I know there's some other stuff in there, but those are my three pillars.
What do you consider controls?
Here's the thing. I think good controls, you don't notice they're there, you know? Prime example, the first Infamous game, the controls in that game were so good, I didn't realize I was playing with controllers like I was playing with my mind, you know? So if I am aware that I am playing with a controller, then it's bad controls. That's the way I see it, you know?
You essentially have to physically think about what you got, what button or you have to press.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and not only that, but like, if I try to do something and it doesn't happen, that's bad controls. You know, it's taking me out of the immersion, you know?
Yeah, see, I generally go more off of like how tightly and quick reacting your character is to the controls, and like by that instance, I would argue with you that the Souls games they have a huge amount of control of them. I mean, the hitbox porn in those games alone is half of why a lot of people come to it.
Oh no! And by the way, just to clear the air, I think the controls in those games are great. There's just not my personal selling point for them. You know.
Well, here's the thing. Like the thing about it is like for a game like Bloodborne or any of the Souls games, they don't react as soon as you press a button because they're limited by the actual character themselves. So when you're swinging a sword, there's the wind up, there's all of that sort of stuff that happens in there as you as a person would, right? When you want to hit something, if you know, in other words, if you have this giant, giant like sort of the berserk sword, it's you're not going to hit that person right away. But
Well,
I
yeah,
think
but like I,
Mhm.
but in that game, like when I said a hitbox is like if you hit someone there, I have never once in that game seen something where like, oh, I totally hit that guy, but it didn't register.
no.
Like, no, you can like dive under a sword. Like, and I'm not sure. The reason I ask is because I'm like, I'm not sure if that counts as controls or something else. But that is one thing that I definitely like. If I swing my sword and it passes through the character model and does no damage, I'm fucking pissed. Equally so, if I swing my sword, don't connect with somebody, and damage pops up, I'm like, oh, fucking come on.
Yeah. No, the hitbox porn in that game is brilliant. Like when someone's attacking you and you duck and you see that blade go right over your head and you don't take any damage, like that's fucking good shit. But you're right, that is a good question. Like, is that control gameplay? I don't know. Either way, it's good and I like it.
I think that's gameplay.
Yeah, I think that's gameplay. Yeah. So would controls and gameplay be two different things then?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I would have assumed gameplay would be referring to like the gameplay loop,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, you're
I
right.
can
Yeah.
get that.
No, I think there could be arguments like controls and gameplay are separate things. Because you're right, their gameplay is the loop that every game has, and then the controls are just like, does it do stuff when I press it? you know. And again, I realize I'm kind of an outlier with mine. Most people say gameplay over everything. That's great, fantastic. Not for me. Gameplay is one of the least things I care about. It's like it's the immersion that I care about most. But again, bad gameplay will fuck that immersion up. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm coming at it from. All right, Chris, what about you? What's your order?
Order.
Or
Can I answer for Chris?
yes.
Swimming is number one.
Chris is muted right now, so I think he may be AFK.
Might be away.
Oh,
right.
wait, sorry.
Yeah.
I thought I was talking, but
Oh. Like, why these motherfuckers talking
Yeah.
over me, man?
no, that's no. He brought up swimming. I was gonna say gameplay. I guess that counts.
Yeah.
well, give me that swimming.
Gotta
But
get that-
story is important and controls. I do count them different because in the era of motion controls, I stayed away from a ton of shit that I would normally try. It's like if this game was just normal, like I play it with thumbsticks and buttons, I'll play it like fucking like Skyward Sword on the Wii.
Oh, Chris, I got one.
I would have played that if it was normal. I mean, I
What
played
about-
that now.
What about like Half-Life Alex?
Yeah, I'm not putting goggles on my. I don't like VR. I'm not gonna play that shit. Yeah, if it was normal, if you gave me like that game like on a TV, that's perfect. Like I don't want VR. I just think they're all gimmicks, you know. I just want to play with a controller. So anything motion control, especially with Connect stuff, was like fuck Connect. That was garbage. So yeah, that's important. I put graphics lower on it because like we come from an era of like we went through all 8-bit. I started with Atari, you know. I play some indie games. I play like Dead Cells. Dead Cells doesn't look like you know, anything special. I enjoyed it. I'll still play 2D platformers, you know. So that graphics is not like a pinnacle for me. If you have bad controls, like that ruins it. Gameplay and story are important, are more important to me. I don't need too much effects either. Immersion is good. I would rate that higher. And then music. I guess sound and music would count together. He only said music. He only
Yeah.
said sound in here. But I would say like that's important too. Like yeah, because that builds immersion, right? If you have good music and good sound effects, that builds game immersion. So you put those together.
Yeah. I'm
Yo,
reading.
Tony.
Oh, yeah. By the way, shout out to CV Tech. For the bits.
shout out.
Oh, thank you.
Go ahead, Carlos. And I want to read what Blitz said.
Yo, what do you think about this sound design?
Yeah, man. See, that type of stuff will pull me out of a game. I one of the reasons I don't like Halo 4 as much as the other ones is because the music is whack compared to the other one.
Yeah.
Like, you hear that shit, the music in the first 3 games, boy, you are in there, you know? That shit's hype as fuck. And you hear this shit in 4, doo, 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 doo. I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? You know? Real quick, Blitz, he goes, graphics definitely sit down the list for me. Love them pretty graphics, but would rather play an ugly ass game with great gameplay over the best looking game that plays like shit. Here's the thing. My caveat there would be like, what's the story like though? Because that would be
Yeah.
I gotta say, here's that counterbalance, Tony. I rank story almost last.
Yeah, no, I know that. There's definitely guys who are just like gameplay guys, you know, which I respect.
Well, I mean, it's one of those, like, I like a good story, but I found good stories tend to spring up more from sandbox games, at least for me. Like, I like the story that you write or the story that happens to your character more than, you know, some of the stuff usually kind of spoon-fed to you. One of the things I really loved was, you know, when I come home, find Rachel playing Fallout all day, I'd be like, what did you do in Fallout today? And she'd be able to regale me like an hour-long story of crazy shit that happened. So, like, I like that stuff because it's kind of a natural buildup of story, and a lot of times, especially if the gameplay and, you know, everything doesn't match what you're doing, you know, you hit these points where, like, oh, here's a side quest mission, or go find fucking 10 snake hides, or whatever the fuck it is to fucking stretch and draw out the game, and that's where I lose my immersion. That's where I'm like, okay, see. Now this is just bullshit that doesn't fucking matter anymore. Like, why do I need to hunt down all of these pieces of a fucking tattered scroll if, you know, somebody is in life-threatening danger right now? This doesn't make any fucking sense. So, like, I do like story, but I find the big cinematic set pieces to be less engaging because I feel like it's somebody just yelling story at me and that I'm not participating in.
Interesting. See, again, we're on the opposite ends because I feel like the stories you make up don't matter because it's just random stuff. Like the story that's actually written, that's the real thing. You know, like
life is random stuff.
Yeah, but again, I'm not trying to. When I'm playing a game, I want to get the fuck away from life. Give me this stuff. I don't want to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like again, I'm not. when I play a game, and I've said it before, I am not trying to be like, what? Let me make my own adventure. Fuck that. Give me an adventure. Take me on a ride. You know?
Well, counter to that, like, if I'm assaulting a castle, why the fuck do I need the game to tell me how I feel about assaulting the castle? Like, maybe if I have to, like, you know, prepare my shit, build some items, level up, and then assault the castle, you know, I can do it any number of ways. Then I actually have, like, am I doing this wrong? Is this the best idea? You know, and if I do a thing and it works out really well, I can be like, oh, sweet, that was proud. You know, I'm proud that was fun, as opposed to them being like, oh, you're feeling real riled up about assaulting this castle now. I'm like, I mean, I guess, just because you told me I do.
Well, I mean, it's
again,
like, if you think about it,
it
it also has to do with the narrative. The narrative is what the developer is telling you. I mean, if you're playing a Joker game and you destroy, you burn a hospital or some crazy shit like that, then it's not important what you think. It's important what the character thinks.
Yeah, and that's the one thing, and Carlos, I'm glad you brought this up because when I play a game, I always try to think, what would this character do? I always try to think, what would the character do? And that, to me, helps me become more immersed in it, you know, because if I'm left to my own devices, I'm going to do the most boring, pedantic shit I can. And this is why, and Brett, you and I, you know, again, we differ on this too. That's why I like the way you assassinated in Assassin's Creed 2 versus 1. In 1, they let you assassinate any way you want. You know what I did for every single assassination? I ran up to the guy, stabbed him, hid somewhere until the alarm went away, then I completed the mission. And 2, they at least set these things up for you. Yes, it was restricted, but it was more memorable because they were different assassinations every single time instead of just me running up and stabbing the guy and hiding, you know?
Well, you didn't have to cheese the game.
But the game allowed that.
Again.
Yeah, but again,
it's your efficiency again. Like, me, like, I'm, again, the opposite of you in that aspect. Like, I don't like efficiency. I fucking hate it. Most games, I walk around with 7 to 12 levels of skill points banked up. Because if I spend them, that shit's just going to get way too easy. And people look at my game and they're like, why are you walking around with 12 skill points? I'm like, meh. I'm doing fine. Like, yeah, but don't you want to level up and get crazy? Be like, things get harder. I mean, as it stands, I don't really need to right now.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. The instant I get a single skill point, spending it. You know, as soon as I get to a like new town, oh, what new armors do they have? You know, oh, this place has a bunch of enemies. Let me level grind for a couple hours, so I could just breeze through everything. You know, again, we just different gameplay designs. I just value efficiency more because I'm trying to get through this snappy, you know, so I can get to the next game. You know. Also, if you drag the game out, then the story gets dragged out too for me. You know. Anyway, did we catch everybody gameplay? And you know.
No, I didn't go.
Oh, go ahead, man.
That's because you were answering for everybody else.
By the way,
man.
this is what I was saying. This is why when I play a hack and slash game, I literally do the same combo in every game because it works in every game. Light, hard, dodge. You know, it just dodge every. I do the same combo in every fucking game, and it always works. So I'm like, why should I try something different if it always works the same in every game? You know, so that's the way I see it. Anyway, Carlos, go ahead.
I think for me, it's gameplay, then graphics, then story. Just from we're using kind of the big three here.
Yeah, the big three. Yeah.
And I've noticed this with the game that I'm playing right now. It's like I'm playing Metroid Dread.
Ooh, that's a gameplay game. Like I'm not playing that for the story. I want to just the cool gameplay. That's what draws me in there. Same thing with Bayonetta. I don't give a fuck about the story. I just want to kick some ass. You know what I'm saying? So I will definitely play some gameplay games for sure. But like, yeah, Metroid. You go there for the atmosphere, but it's mostly for the story. Like, where do they hide all this cool shit? How can I find it? Oh, look at these power ups. What can I do now? You know?
Yeah, and it's you know, I was expecting a little bit more of a story, and it's like, nah, Samus landed on a planet. Let's get something to get out.
Said, yo, hold on,
It's
man.
like-
Hold on. CV Tech is making it rain right now.
Oh damn!
Respect to you, my man.
Oh man,
Let's go. Let's
He
go.
said, "What would Tony do?"
Yeah.
Oh,
What would Tony doing? What?
think gameplay and control can be bundled together to shrink things down. Oh no, yeah, that was. I guess it was just maybe a question out of something we said.
Yeah, yeah. What would
Yo, man,
Jesus
shout
do?
out
What
to-
would Tony do? Let's go. That's
What
even
would Tony
better. Tony would drink that wine, you know? All right. I don't even know what that
So,
had to
yeah,
do
like-
with Jesus, but fuck it. Anyway, go on.
I think I've mentioned this before, but I think stories in video games are overrated. I think they're far and few between when it comes to good narratives. I don't know. I just feel like video. I can't think of a video game story, even something like Ghost of Tsushima. It's a decent story. Is it Is it on the level of
Yeah. Yeah,
Pardon?
but the thing is that the interactive element makes it like better though. Like to me, to me, Mass Effect is like on par with Star Trek and all that shit that I love. And the gameplay, the interactiveness just makes it even better. Obviously,
Well,
yeah. Go ahead.
I think, and I would agree. I mean, Mass Effect is the closest thing to reaching the peaks that certain other mediums like film and
Yeah.
and books and TV shows do. But Uncharted, they're making a movie out of it. That story ain't good.
But the thing is, like, how you gonna make a movie out of a game that's inspired by a movie? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm like, okay,
was inspired by?
like, okay, here's the thing: Uncharted, the video game, exists as a playable version of an Indiana Jones movie or different, the level of movies. Why the fuck are you turning it into a movie? You already have the movie.
I don't know, man. I got to agree with Carlos in the sense that, like, yes, video games sometimes do have amazing stories, and it can be an amazing medium to tell a story in. But most of the time, the stories are phoned in, kind of like an afterthought. I can tell you, damn near on one hand, the number of really good stories in the last decade that I've played through video games.
Yeah, but the thing is,
Yeah,
you can say that a lot about movies too. Or like, oh, all the beats come in and shit. So you could say the same thing too. Like, there's just some lazy writers in every medium.
Yeah, but I feel like in video games, I feel that it's more so. But I think I don't know. That's why I lean more towards the gameplay loop because when I play Spider-Man, when I play Monster Hunter, when I play Metroid, when I play all those games, I'm like, I don't really care that much about
Monster
the
Hunter, I don't care
story.
about the story. I don't care about the story of Monster Hunter. That's just we get together and just for the dudes,
It's
dude,
like,
that's
yeah,
all I care
it's
about.
like,
You
it's
know?
the internet. I don't care.
Yeah.
I just want to beat the shit out of
Yeah,
it.
no, for real. When we play Back 4 Blood, I don't give a fuck about the story, bro. Just kill some
Yeah,
zombies.
exactly.
Hold on, though. You bring up a good point.
Yeah.
Those are all good, fun gameplay games, but they also have a high amount of immersion without having to have any story. So, like, yeah, like I absolutely feel that way. But like, yeah, when I'm in Monster Hunter, like I like to feel immersed in the whole thing. I like to feel like I'm beating the shit out of these monsters. So it is gameplay, but I do you also think it's some immersion?
Oh, immersion is definitely a big thing. But the thing is,
Yeah.
maybe this is wrong with me, but I lump immersion with story too. But you're right. Gameplay would immerse you into it. It does for me. If I don't realize the gameplay is there or the controls are there, then that's immersion. So maybe immersion kind of seeps into a lot of aspects because music could help you be immersed too. Halo, a perfect example. You hear that
think
fucking
immersion is when different elements.
yeah, when they all come together, right? I think you're right about that, man.
Dead Space is another good example.
Yeah. By the way, Street Fighter. I'm not playing no Street Fighter for story, bro.
No, man.
Yeah.
I just
mean,
want to get in to throw some Hadoukens,
I mean, again, like it's they attempt to try to immerse you, but
I don't care.
it's like it's just an excuse to get Ryu to punch some things.
Yeah.
You know, if you're expecting Street Fighter to have some sort of deep story, you've got another thing coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean even sort of like the thing like the Zeldas and the Marios and the Smash, like no one really cares that much about the story. Some Zelda people claim they do, but this is the same shit all over again.
Yo, when I'm playing Mario, I just want that hardcore platforming. That's all I care about.
It's funny because like Zelda is not only about the the main story. We got to kill you have your direction. The thing in the distance that you got to go kill. But for a lot of the story, like the stories are not exactly linear. It's a lot of it's like miniature stories. We're like, hey, look, you went and got this guy this can of worms you always wanted.
Well,
Yeah,
even
when
like
you
the
uncover
Guardians,
those.
even like the Guardians, they're not really. Yeah, you have to take down the 4 Guardians. I don't know if I'd count that as like story, but like the moment that you're getting, where you're fighting them, the things you kind of get.
Yeah.
By the way, is Brett cutting off?
He's cutting that hardcore tonight,
He's-
or not
yeah.
really tonight. In the last like 10 minutes or so,
Yeah, maybe Brett walked outside or something.
Yeah.
Maybe the crickets are interfering with the
Yeah,
frequencies. But I mean, also graphics is an important thing for me. It's not gameplay important, but I think I prefer it more than story. Yeah, I don't know. I have a difficult relationship with stories in video games. I know
you don't like it very much, but I don't know, Carlos. Like graphics, I think just hearing what you're saying, I think that's one of the like unspoken things in games because a lot of people say I don't care about graphics. Like, dude, Carlos, for me and you, if Zelda looked better, we would like it more. Let's just be real.
Yeah, we would have liked it more.
Because
agree.
you're playing Breath of the Wild after Horizon like we did. We're like, ugh, what the fuck is this shit?
Yeah,
I can confidently say I'm in a different camp. I like Elder Scrolls games.
Yeah, ooh.
Yeah, those things they're not winning any beauty pageants.
No, they're not. But
well,
there's so much.
Skyrim looked good.
Depending on the mods, right?
When it came out,
not necessarily in comparison to like it's just a natural drawback. Like we were saying with GTA earlier, like when you have a game that's so immense in scope, you're gonna suffer a little bit. And its graphics are passable, but it's never been like holy shit. This is Rage had better graphics.
Yeah, I think Elder Scrolls has always been like that. I think Skyrim was the only exception where it's like, oh shit, they stepped up their game. It looks half decent.
You say that, but everybody on this panel is making fun of the faces in that game.
Well, yeah, I mean, all these types of games have their deficiencies sometimes, but graphics are number 2, gameplay's number 1. There's just a ton of games, and I do this a lot too. It's like sometimes I play games and I couldn't care less about all the story, man. I'm like, I just want to move the fuck on. I want to, get the next part and kill the next monster.
Blah blah blah. Magic crystal, give me the sword.
Yeah.
Well, and also, but I do want to be clear. I can appreciate when a video game has a great story. When you do the Mass Effects, when you do the BioShocks, like then I'm like, oh, I want to know more. I want to get to the end to see what happens. Final Fantasy 15,
You
great.
know? Good stuff, man. All right, that's probably gonna be a clip right there. That was good shit. All right, moving on here. Oh, by the way, is Logic One still around? Because he asked us what are some of our favorite like gaming conventions we've been to. But we've answered that before. Just letting you know. Oh, we answered the Dune one. Give me a second. I gotta get the last. Is this the last question of the night?
We did have a guy that did have somebody who wanted
Oh no
to
no
check
no.
out
We
the
we
store.
still got more questions.
We got questions. What is
Yeah.
the question show?
Oh, as a matter of fact, I skipped one. Let's go back.
Oh,
Yeah, gotta rewind it. Gotta rewind it, man. Okay, this is from Chuco2565. Chuco, I like that. Hey, Chuco. Hey.
that sounds like a nickname for somebody.
Yeah, that sounds like
It's my homie Chuco, man.
It's Mexican slang.
you already know. You already know.
Yep.
All right. Okay, are Starfield, Redfall, Stalker, Forza Motorsport, this one is a rumor, or Grounded 1.0 enough from Microsoft to go toe-to-toe, or enough for Microsoft to go toe-to-toe with Sony in 2022. Sony has the advantage of established juggernaut IPs like Horizon, Gran Turismo, God of War, etc., while Microsoft is relying heavily on new IPs and timed exclusives. So, yeah, do you think Microsoft's exclusives can rival Sony's? And also, he left these out. Remember, we got to throw the Bethesda ones in there too if they have any.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Well,
Yeah,
he said
that
Starfield.
makes the difference.
Oh yeah, he did say Starfield. He did say Starfield. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's and I know it's unconfirmed, but it's Starfield, it's Fallout, it's Elder Scrolls, it's Doom, it's Wolfenstein.
No,
It's
the question is specifically to the next year, like just next
Yeah,
year.
just next year is 2022 specifically.
I think so. I need to put an asterisk on that. If they hadn't acquired ZeniMax, no, I wouldn't think so. But I genuinely think that may have evened the playing field a bit.
Yeah.
I mean,
wait.
Starfield's going to be a big fucking game.
Final Fantasy 16 is a PlayStation exclusive.
Yeah. For now, just like 7 Remake is an exclusive.
Damn, that's crazy. Yeah, it's gonna be hard, to be honest. I think it's all the weight bears on the shoulders of Starfield. That's the game that's gonna make or break Microsoft for next year.
If you had removed that from his question, I would have said no.
Yeah, Starfield has the
a-
potential to be a monster.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, Carlos, on our PCs.
On my PC.
Oh man.
Man,
So it looks
I get some
like
more graphics.
Sony has some good competition, man. Although for me though, it's still Sony because Final Fantasy 16 alone, be enough. But Starfield could be heavy, man. That could
Which
be
one
heavy.
is Grounded?
It's that
that's-
bug game that Brett was playing. It's the Honey I Shrunk the Little Kids game. It's still in beta, but
Okay.
so me, whatever. I'm gonna fuck about that.
I played some of it. Ah man, I didn't like it.
It looked whack. I'll just watch the movie.
How do you for the kids?
Yeah, just watch Honey I Shrunk the Kids.
And Redfall is
It's
that
that
the
vampire
vampire
game.
game?
It's a vampire.
Oh
it's
yeah,
the
no,
vampire game.
that game looks like trash. I'm sorry. No, we talked about that already.
Actually, let me see. I'm gonna go personal right now. Okay, Starfield. Yes, I'm very interested in Starfield. Redfall. Don't give a fuck. I don't know what Stalker is. Isn't that an old game?
Yeah,
that's
Brian likes that game, right?
Oh,
I think so.
yeah, I guess no opinion on Stalker. Forza Motorsport. Don't care. I don't care about sim racing games. And yes, that also applies to Gran Turismo. Don't care. Grounded. Don't give a shit. Horizon, obviously, you already know. Very interested. Gran Turismo, don't care. God of War, absolutely care.
Yeah.
So off of these things, and Final Fantasy 16, oh fuck.
Well, I think
about-
I agree with Brett. I mean, it's all on Starfield.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. But for me, it's gonna have to be Sony. Final Fantasy 16 alone. Jesus, give me that game. By the way, if they show that shit during that PlayStation thing, isn't it this week? The name.
It's yes. It's on. I think it's tomorrow. No, sorry. Wednesday.
Bro, I'm
Wednesday.
punching your fucking
bro,
throat,
bro.
man. Getting me hyped
Tomorrow's
up.
the Halo stuff. Tomorrow they're unveiling Halo campaign stuff.
Yo,
My
man,
bad.
Tony would have to start taking heart medication or some
Yeah,
shit.
yo, no, Carlos, for that, I should go to Text Ryan and just give you a chop in the throat, man, getting me hyped up. You know, not too hard though. I still want you to live. You know, just a quick chop. You know.
Well,
I'll
you
give you
you
the-
better
And then I'll give you.
beer.
I'll give you the beer I owe you. You know.
He wants to give you one of those Ric Flair chops. They're really loud, but they don't do much.
Yeah, it gets like that. You know, real loud. Like,
Are you
damn.
gonna do the woo after?
Yeah, of course. You know, woo. And the thing is, after the instant I do it, you're gonna be like, "Fuck it." And you're like, "Oh wait, I didn't hurt at all." You know, it just sounded loud.
strains my freaking my spine. It's like,
You know?
oh shit.
Oh, shit. Why am I getting fucking notifications from Adobe? Go away. I'm doing a show. All right.
They're like, did you
Did you upgrade? Bitch,
wanna
I'm doing a show.
upgrade?
I'm about to use you afterwards to edit this shit. All right. All right. Let's move on. See, okay. For your first question, we cannot answer because this is gameplay, man. We're talking about games right now, bro. You said something was about Halloween costumes, like, bro.
Halloween costumes? I mean, they could.
Nah, wait, man, I don't.
Show.
No, yeah, games.
This is a game show. I
But
guess,
yeah, you have to ask us that for AMA.
but that's
at
what
the end of the year.
But yeah, what is that?
Yeah, that wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah, ask us about this in January. I'm gaming for it.
Already
Yeah,
done.
we're gaming right now, and plus we're adults, bro. Come on now, you know.
Oh, by the way,
Yeah.
wait. Can we make I guess we can make an exception maybe in the next episode because the next episode isn't Halloween.
Isn't Halloween?
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? We'll answer this question on Halloween. Then why not? You know.
Yeah.
Maybe one of us will be wearing a mask or something.
Yeah, Manny will be. You know.
I have plenty of masks here, though. Unfortunately, I had to throw out the God of War mask.
Oh no, no Kratos.
I had the God of War mask since God of War 3. The mask just did not last. It started to stick to itself, and it just.
Yeah. Anyway,
But that's
go ahead.
amazing that shit lasted that long.
Yeah, that's
for a
good.
Fucking rubber mask.
Yeah. All right, we'll answer that question. But he still has another Halloween type of question. Right.
Oh yeah. Horror game.
I believe we've. You know what? Yeah. You know what? I'm pulling rank. Let's answer this question next week.
Halloween.
Because I think that'll be a good question for next week. But that also means the show is over.
The midnight hour comes
Yeah, I'm gonna save. There'll be good questions for next week. All right, that's gonna do it for us, man. Another good action-packed episode of Throwdown. But before we leave, does anybody have anything to plug? We actually do have things to plug around here besides the usual. Let's fucking go. But anyway, man, you lead us off.
Oh yes, as always.
Ooh, the camera quality is good tonight, Manny. No pixeliness.
Nubia and the Amazon's #1 is out on the streets. It's out there right now. You can go pick it up at your favorite comic book store or online on any of the digital comic apps. Also, I have I did some illustrations for Inverse Magazine for 3 editorial illustrations. So if you want to check that one out, check those out. And obviously, as always, excellence is real. Still coming. Still working on it. And stay tuned for a bunch of other stuff because I got a really cool one coming up.
Yeah. Damn, CV Tech all day, man. Making it rain tonight. You already know, man. Good stuff. All right,
That, man.
let's have fun with it. Carlos, man. I think you and Chris got something, man.
Whoa!
So there's a pretty big movie that came out last week, and it's called Dune. So for those that are excited about Dune and have watched it, or maybe you haven't watched it but you still want to see a podcast of us spoiling it, we did a podcast with thecoalition.com with me, Tony, and Chris, where we joined Dana Abercrombie, Joey Polanco, and Mr. Richard Bailey Jr.
Yeah, that's my illegitimate son right there, man.
Yeah.
Joey Polanco.
Yeah, he already knew. I had him when I was 10 years old somehow.
He well, I won't spoil what he thought about the movie, but it was kind of more split than I expected it to be, which was interesting. But overall, it was
Who said they liked the David Lynch one better?
No, no one did. No one did. No one did. No one did. No
Yeah,
one did.
no.
Yo, by the way, Carlos, I'm going to give you partial credit for the money we're getting from CV Tech because he liked your gameplay over everything comment. Make
Yo,
it
man.
rain. Let's go, son.
Yo,
You
man,
know?
appreciate that.
Yeah, well, because listen, man, for real talk, the reason we give you guys games and stuff is because of this, because of the bits you guys are hooking us up with. So we will be giving games away for sure in November. We're gonna do the same thing we did last year, man. New game every week. We're gonna give away, man. Let's go.
Oh, no,
You know,
that
we can't call it
starting soon?
we can't call it
It's
next
not
year
next year
November.
November no more.
We'll call
No, next
yeah,
year.
it's I don't know, something November, but you're gonna get a new game every week, you know, and that's all because of you guys. You give us love, we give it back, you know. My man, making it rain again. Let's go.
yeah, man.
Yo, Dune. Go check out the podcast. It's dope. Yo, by the way, think of doing that show with Joey. That dude is the real cinephile, you know. So this dude is not only a cinephile, but he was a Denny V fan. On top of that, my man was like, "Oh my god," you know.
Yo, man, I was a Denny V fan too, man.
Yeah, but
What's
like,
up with that?
no, like I don't know, like no, you're like a Denny V fan as much as him, but he seems to be more of a cinephile than you are, you know. Like he
we'll
is
see about that.
hardcore. That's just a challenge right there, son. Let's go.
Is that a bet?
Yeah, is that a bet? Maybe we'll see. Actually, let's see. Even though the answer should be pretty simple, Manny, who do you think on that podcast didn't like Dune?
Dana.
Dana's the bread of those shows.
Yep.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like Dana is the type of person that likes more overt actiony sort of stuff. Not actiony, but like just more she's not
Straightforward.
willing- straightforward sort of storytelling. And then I feel like also when it comes to certain actiony things, she doesn't like too. That's just what I got the sense I got from her.
Yeah, you're right. It's always the opposite. Like we were there, we were all hating on Loki, you know, for the most part, especially me, and she was loving it, you know.
Yeah, she really liked it.
Yeah.
At least one of y'all got some taste.
There you go.
I mean, I didn't even bother with Loki. I was
Yeah,
just like,
yeah,
all
Manny,
right.
don't bother with it. It's not good.
Hey, man, to be
Manny,
honest-
watch it. It's if you like
No.
cerebral.
Don't.
No,
It's
I
not bad.
didn't. I didn't. I mean, I've just been watching the recaps of all that shit, and it just doesn't seem like anything.
And Manny, trust me, I know you. Nah, it's not for you. Trust me. You know.
I mean, like I don't know. I've never been a Hiddleston. I never cared for fucking
Yeah,
Loki.
same here. Don't care.
You know, like okay, look, we got to figure out a way to keep the fan favorite in the series, not by non-killing him.
Oh man! All right, that's good stuff, man. So we are out of here. So make sure you follow Throwdown on Twitch and Twitter, and join the Discord. Hey, CV Tech, you're in there, bro. You're in that Discord, man. Ask some questions and chop it up with the fans, man. It's always a good time in our Discord. You know, you can find Throwdown Show on any podcast app on Earth. Throwdown Show towards Throwdown Show, and you can visit throwdownshow.com to listen to past episodes. And if you're watching us on YouTube and you enjoyed the content, be sure you hit like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified when we go live. Please make sure to hit like, because that helps with the algorithm. Those numbers are looking atrocious on YouTube, so help us out, please. Just hit like, you know, or even a comment, whatever. Even if you leave a dislike too, it helps. And links to everything down below. Once again, I was your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I was joined by Emilio Lopez,
See you next time.
Chris Seeley,
Hey, take care, everyone.
Carlos Romero,
Hey, the people.
and Brett Murdoch.
Deuces.
All right, guys, you already know.